Hi there, class 1 and 2. We're going to do some topic work today, and in topic we are learning about the Great Fire of London. Can you remember what we did last time we did topic? We were learning about houses and what the houses were like in 1666. And you drew a house, didn't you? Can you remember what those houses were made from? Well, a lot of it was made from wood, and some of them, the roofs, were made from straw, weren't they? Now, in the picture, we can see here, can you remember what the houses were like in the streets? They were very close together, weren't they? They were very close, very squashed. That's right. So today we're going to be learning about something different. We're not going to be learning about the houses or the streets today. We're actually going to be learning about the types of jobs that people did in 1666. What jobs do people do today? What kind of jobs do your mums and dads and aunties and uncles, what do they do? Let's have a little think. Here are some ideas here. You might know somebody who's a nurse, like this lady here. The nurses are doing a very special job at the moment, aren't they? Looking after people who are very poorly. You might know somebody who's a police lady or a policeman. They look after us too, don't they? And then here, do you know what this person does here? This man here, he's a paramedic. So when you call an ambulance, a man like this or a lady will be driving the ambulance to come and help you. There are all sorts of jobs today. There are other jobs like a mechanic who fixes your car, or a dentist, or a plumber, or somebody who comes to fix your lights or your cooker, called an electrician. There are lots and lots of jobs that people do today. So we're going to be thinking about what people did in the 17th century, especially in the year 1666. Now we can see some people here who I think do some very interesting jobs, and we are going to find out what they do in a minute. I wonder what you think these particular people do here. Right, the first job we're going to be thinking about is a chimney sweep. Back then, they had fires in their houses, didn't they? A fireplace to keep them warm. And the smoke went up the chimney. So you had to make sure that chimney was nice and clean. So a man like this would come and sweep out your chimney to keep it nice and clean, to make sure the smoke could go all the way up and out of the chimney. Otherwise, the smoke, if it couldn't get out of the chimney, it would come into your house and make your house very smoky. It wouldn't be very nice. So the chimney sweeps used to clean chimneys and fireplaces. But children were often used as apprentices or helpers because they were very small and they could fit up the chimneys. Next, we're going to be thinking about this man here. Now, this is a really funny word, and it's called an apothecary. An apothecary. And an apothecary dispensed remedies or medicines made from herbs and plants and roots. So he was a little bit like a doctor. He would give you special medicines made out of natural herbs and plants and roots mixed up together. Let's think of another one. Let's have a look. A blacksmith. What did a blacksmith do? Well, the blacksmith was a very special and important occupation. It was an important job. Blacksmiths made objects from metal, from iron and steel, and they would sharpen weapons and repair cooking utensils. So a blacksmith was very important in the town that you lived in, fixing all your metal things. You might want to be a rat catcher in 1666. Rat catchers caught rats around the city. Now, rats were not very nice to have around because rats carried diseases They carried diseases on their bodies, and so you wouldn't want to have rats around because they could make you very poorly. So these here got collected by the rat catcher. A gong farmer. I wonder what a gong farmer is. A gong farmer was somebody who cleaned out the toilets and they removed human waste from privies. And a privy was a toilet located in a shed or in an outside building. So, could you fancy doing that? You'd have to go and clean out toilets, and they weren't like ours with flushable toilets that would flush out. No, it would be your toilet business would be collected in like a little pit or a bucket, and this man here, oh dear, he would come and clean it and collect it. Would you like to be a gong farmer? I'm not sure I would. Next we have a spinster. And a spinster was a woman who supported herself by spinning wool and linen. So she wouldn't have a husband who would go to work to collect the money and make money. She had to make money herself so that she could buy food and live. So she would spin wool and linen, which she could then sell. We've got a chandler. And the chandler made and sold candles, because back then you didn't have electricity. So to have light in your houses, you would need candles or oil which you would light. So this was very important. Although I like candles now, I think they're really pretty. You could be, if you were a girl, a scullery maid. And a scullery maid were the lowest ranked workers in the kitchen. Now their job was to clean the floor, to clean the stoves and ovens, and the sinks and the pots and the dishes in the kitchen. Now that would have been a very hard job, to be a scullery maid. You could be a carpenter. The carpenter made all sorts of furniture and wooden items. They were regarded as master craftsmen. And we still get carpenters today, don't we, who make things out of wood. You might want to be a firefighter. Do we get firefighters today? We do, don't we? Well, they had firefighters back in 1666. But there was no organised fire brigade. Firefighting was very basic, with little or no skill or knowledge involved, and they used to use leather buckets, and axes were used to put out fires. So they would use an axe by chopping down wood or buildings that were actually on fire so that it wouldn't catch anything else on fire. So they used their big axe to get rid of things that were on fire or about to catch fire. And they used buckets, not made of plastic or metal, but made from leather, just like leather belts, or you get leather handbags, don't you, and leather bags? Well, you've got leather buckets back then too. Now this is a firefighter of today, isn't it? And we're comparing it with this man here, who was a firefighter in the 1700s. Now then, what is similar about these two firemen? Is there anything similar? There's not a lot similar. They both did use water to put out fires. Is there anything different you can see about these firefighters? Well, one is carrying an axe, isn't he? And the modern firefighter has got a good helmet on and good protective clothing to protect him from the heat and the flames of the fire. The modern firefighter's also got a walkie-talkie on him so he can keep in touch with people who are in the burning building. I wonder what you think it was like to be a firefighter in 1666, the year of the Great Fire. I think it would have been quite scary. Life in London in 1666. What would it be like to live in London in 1666? How would it feel to do some of the jobs that we've looked at? Would you like to do some of those jobs? Would you like to be a gong farmer collecting all the toilet business? Would you like to be a candle maker and a candle seller? Which of the jobs still exist today? Well, I don't think we have gong farmers today, do we? What jobs are no longer needed and why? This is something that you might like to discuss with your grown-up helper. Right, your activity today is you are going to need some scissors because you are going to be cutting out all these squares. There are lots and lots of squares to cut out. So make sure you cut along the black lines to cut out the squares rather than round every little picture. So you're going to be cutting out all of these squares and then you're going to be sticking them on here. So the title on here says London Past and Present. So you're going to sort out all those pictures into the pictures that show things in the past and pictures that show things in the present, which is now. And you're going to end up with a very full page. Now, if you can't fit them on, don't worry. Just choose a few to put into each box. So if you don't fit them all on, it's okay, don't worry. Then you can take a picture of it and send it to me. If you want to colour it in, that would be lovely too. Okay, so it's a cutting and sticking activity today. We're thinking about jobs today, what jobs people did in the past and comparing them to what jobs we have today. Okay, children, so that's your activity. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye for now, everybody.